everyone, and welcome back. This week's video is going to be a little different than usual. I had some requests to look into some of the shoemaking kits that are out there. Very specifically, I had a request for the Shoe Camaraderie, who sells sandal making kits. They are based out of Australia, and I did go ahead and try them out. Now, of note here, if you go to their website today, on the day that this video comes out, they do have a sale starting up. However, it is a sale to clear out things so that way they can go on a 1-year hiatus. So everything you see in the video today may still be available briefly, but I don't know how fast that's going to go. There are, however, other shoemaking kit companies that I have linked below. I have not tried any of these for obvious reasons. That's a lot of different options that I would have to get through, but you can sort of see from this video what shoemaking kits and sandal making kits may be like, what sort of information or supplies are in them, because there are many options out there. This is not the only company, thankfully. And what you will generally find from these companies is that sometimes they will sell an entire kit where you have all of the supplies that you need, all of the tools that you need, and pattern and instructions and whatever else that you need for the entire thing. Many of these companies sell it that way and in parts and pieces. So in the case of the Shoe Camaraderie, like many of the other places, you can get kits specific to a certain style, and you can choose your color of leather or some other style options along the way. Then you can get a toolkit separately, which is sort of what I did. I ordered some individual tools from them rather than the entire kit because I already have a shoemaking knife and some other basics like that. Just needed some specialty items that are better suited to modern shoemaking that I've never used before. And then the instructions were bundled in along with the supplies that we purchased. You can also get those separately. So there are lots of different ways to go about this. There are lots of different stores and styles out there. So take a look around. But this should give you a really good idea if you are interested in learning how to do shoemaking. One of the ways that you can go about that isn't dive in completely in the same way. Yes, these still can be very expensive. The supplies themselves are expensive. The fact that these instructions are generally incredibly detailed and well written out. In the case of the Shoe Camaraderie, not only did they have a PDF written version, but they also have video of every single step where they go into great detail about how everything needs to be done and show it to you. It was very clear and very easy to follow, and I can only assume that most of the other companies try to do something similar. Even if they don't have videos that go along with them, they have a lot of instruction and hopefully a lot of assistance for you as well. So this is really a great place to start because you're only getting the supplies that you need for one pair of shoes or sandals, which the supplies can be incredibly expensive. When you go to buy whole hides of leather, it's very expensive very quickly. Same thing goes with the tools. If you buy it in a kit format, if you buy them all together, you usually get some discount to that, and it gets you a good basic place to start. This is a lot less stressful and a lot less time-consuming and difficult than trying to figure all of these things out individually. So this is my recommendation for all the people that keep asking me how to get into shoemaking. I generally will recommend, even if you're going to historical shoemaking, to try these things out, to look into these shoemaking kits, because a lot of it's going to translate, and this might give you a good place to start with a little bit less investment of time and money than you would otherwise have to go through in order to start from scratch. Now, that being said, I realize that I am testing this out as a shoemaker. I already generally know what I'm doing, though I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to sandals or modern shoes quite as much, so I am learning a lot from this. But I recognize that I'm gonna have a little bit of a different time than somebody who's a complete beginner. Which is why I'm dragging Abby into this. She does owe me one, and I am bringing Abby in as somebody who has never made shoes before. She's watched me do some of this work, she's seen shoemaking happen, but she's never actually made a pair herself. So Abby is going to be our beginner test subject for this, and hopefully we'll come out of this with 2 great pairs of new sandals, and no one will get hurt, and spoiler alert, hopefully the house won't get burnt down.
I was gonna say, I haven't looked at these or anything.
Yeah, no, I haven't pulled all the stuff out yet.
Ooh, it's pretty blue.
Well, obviously we have soles, which are like a composite sort of sole, so I don't think they're leather.
No.
But That's fine. The actual uppers and everything are. We have heels that go onto the bottom when we're done. We have the little welting strips, which are like pre-stitched that get added for fancy looks. I have twill tape because mine will tie around my ankles. We have brushes. I feel like art class.
Oh, this is insole leather, isn't it?
Yeah, this is going to go over.
Yeah.
So this is your sort of squishy insole stuff.
Yeah.
And then this gets wrapped over that to sort of finish it off nicely. This is what I get for like
Plain.
Oh! Okay. It's already breaking.
I broke it.
In case you haven't noticed, this is not going to be my typical video, but it's going to be real fun. Okay, so basically the first step is measuring your feet. They have a nice video on this. This is something that I have done a number of times. However, I have only measured my feet and Abby's feet in inches, and I think it's easier to remeasure them than to convert that. So you can trick. Yeah. So we're gonna start by doing that, which I don't need to put on camera because it's not that exciting. And feet.
I mean, you would be great on weaky feet.
Okay, so we have feet turkeys.
Feet turkeys.
Feet turkeys. Because these are sandals and you're literally going to fit them on your foot,
Yeah.
the measurements we're not making a last. That's the reason why this is easy, you guys. There are no lasts. Hooray!
Yeah.
So essentially all we're going to do is like,
Yeah.
you know, trace off some stuff here. So, looking at my toe length, which is the same for both feet, so I'm not too worried about it, it looks like I'm probably going to go with what they call a size 9, because my toe length comes right up to the size 8. So I'm probably going to go with a 9.
I think mine came up to a 10, so I figured I'd go to the 11. Because, like, the 10 is right here. So that's, like, there. So I don't know. How much is 5 millimeters? Guys,
Half a centimeter. You lived in Sweden! But yeah, they show you like how to widen it and how to narrow it, which is like super cool, but I don't think I need to either way. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's a sandal and it's leather. It'll stretch.
yeah, that's kind of like, I'd rather it be tighter than looser.
Yeah, and that's what you get to like pick later. So this is mostly just, you don't want to be spilling over the side of your shoe.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, am I going to spill over the side of this shoe?
No, your foot's pretty compactable.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have a wide foot, so.
No. 'Cause then there's the one where I had you in like socks, and that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
in this.
Yep.
When you did it.
Yeah, when I did it and you were in socks,
Yeah.
like that's a big difference in terms of how your foot shape looks.
Yeah.
Also, when you were leaning over your own feet
Yeah, and I'm
versus
pushing
not,
it, yeah.
yeah, you're pushing down in. So
Okay,
it's
yes.
sometimes better to have somebody else
This
measure your
looks
feet.
better.
That's more like what I'm
And
used
this
to.
actually looks very similar.
Yes, that looks exactly like
My foot.
Ta-da!
Yay!
Yep,
Look,
that's-
it looks exactly like my foot.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why it's better if you can have like somebody else. You were pushing down into your feet and bending
Yeah.
over and putting weight into your feet versus not putting weight on your feet.
Yeah.
So, yep. First we're going to do is trace out that and that. So right and left. This is not important if it's right and left, as they said, because obviously it's the same.
Yeah.
But it's good to start a good habit.
Trace, trace, trace down.
So, I have a variety of options. I have my knife just in case. I have big, chunky scissors. I have scissors kind of like what they were using, which seems awkward to me. I guess shears, scissors, and knife are 3 options. So, let's try out and find out what actually cuts through this pretty well. Oh, that's pretty easy.
So those things are so big, it should be.
That
Sounds very satisfying.
Yeah, no, it actually is.
Sounds soothing. Oh, I really like cutting this out.
I think this is going to be a pretty, like, pleasant process, all things considered.
Yeah.
I am very excited.
You'll also notice that I'm freehanding this, and that's because I'm very used to this process and the outcome. So when starting out, you might feel more comfortable using a ruler to properly measure out the allowance.
Wait, oh God.
Nope, nope,
Nope.
nope.
It has to be this way,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I'll just keep doing it this way. I'm like trying to save leather, you
But
know?
for what reason?
I don't know, because that's what you're supposed to do. Conserve resources. Don't waste.
This is
I
all pretty much
know.
like there's nothing you can do with this aside from some weird stuff that I do. So don't worry about it. You're okay.
Oh yeah, baby. You could let me sit here and do this for an ungodly amount of time and I'd be very satisfied.
That's what I was like, Abby will enjoy this crafting. It's nice.
It makes the brain so happy.
Yeah, like, because that's the hardest part about shoemaking. It's one, the last, and two, finding all the supplies.
Yeah.
And so this takes care of the supplies for you in literal, like, it's a kit. Don't think about it.
Yep. Well, that went quickly. So how, should they be like clear like that?
At some point it will get really sticky to still a little damp, but...
Oh. Oh, okay. We're just committing.
Doesn't have to be perfect, just close enough. That's why you leave the extra. After this we can open that door and close that door for a little bit, now that Bailey's in here. Okay, so start off here. Then we'll do the other ends in a minute.
Speak for yourself, Rudolph.
She has a method for it.
Oh, well, I'm already jumping
You're
ahead. I'm just going for it. Chaotic good over here is like, nope, this is what I want to do. It's like I've seen this process, or I've absorbed it osmosis through you that I understand.
There. I'm just gonna be real, like, screw it and trace while I'm holding it down with my hands, because...
You like to live dangerously.
Well, this is kind of a chunky piece. It's okay.
Wait, I should flip this, shouldn't I?
Yes, you 100% need to make sure you flip all the things.
Oh,
Just in case. Can't be wrong if you flip, but you can be real wrong if you don't. It's a good first introduction to shoemaking, because you're not doing a lot of the really intensive, you know, shoemaking stuff.
It also, like, will give you the fix of, like, I want to try it without the intense commitment.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut out with scissors. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, I was gonna cut. She said, what, to cut at least the straights out.
I mean, you can use a rotary or you can use... I would say either way is probably fine. That would be... If you are comfortable with rotary, which I know you are, you should be okay. I have regrets.
You have regrets?
I was thinking I probably should have, like, edged down this leather so it's less hard edge, because that's gonna...
But see, You're not following the rules. You're being the gifted kid in the class right now.
Oh, flashbacks. That was uncomfortable.
The only thing that worries me about these is that since this is a water-based glue, they won't do well in moist climates or environments.
I don't know.
We might have to redo these with like barge. Oh, I see why you wanted to be extra like that. That really won't be nice.
You want me to do it for you too?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, Mom.
That's hot. Forgot you were doing the metal there. Okay, maybe next time we heat it up and then put the metal buckle in. Whew. I have like a buckle-shaped imprint in my hand at this point. Ooh.
Damn.
It's so much nicer.
It is. Oh no, I'm not arguing that. I asked you to do it. I saw the light. I was like, no. She is correct.
Yeah, simple things.
Like,
if you want to know how to do that, go watch my How to Make Regency Shoes video, because we're just paring down that little edge. Just a little angle. Big difference. Yeah. And I understand why they don't have you do it, because that's like a big step.
sorry. Oh God, I made that way too big. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's starting to heal up a little bit. It's not as...
Yeah, it looks worse than it is, especially with yours is so squishy. It got so big because yours is so squishy. So.
Oh, this is so much more pleasant now.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, I just didn't even realize they gave us the largest needles.
Yeah, this is a bucking.
Yep.
I have fire.
I have a concern.
And it's a blowtorch one. So the problem is I can't actually see the flame. Hold on. There we go.
Do we need to...
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this concerns me greatly. Ooh, that's toasty. Okay. I think that's a little much. Maybe turn the flame down. And
Barbecue?
let's try that first and see if that's enough heat. Like, turn on the high and kind of like get near it and see if that's enough to kind of sort of melt it, or if we need fire. Oh God. Oh, maybe we should do this on the counter. Actually, I have a cutting board that I can put down as a safety.
It worked.
Okay, that's all that really matters.
It smooshed.
For your safety.
Okay, oh my God, I singed the outside. Sweet. Okay, next time.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Bye.
Day 2, confusion. That's where we are.
The house is not burnt down.
No, it did not burn down. Yet. Okay then.
So you do these.
Yeah, you have to do your strap ends, and I have to do my other 2 tassels.
All right, so catch up first. Like, do I use the chisel to chisel off the corner, or should I try to use your knife?
Or scissors.
Or scissors.
Or your rotary. Or
my rotary. God, you're so smart. You're so smart. Look at you. Just too good, I tell you. There we go. Now we're gonna turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely. Turn around. They're like little spiders. With the little legs, like if you had 4. Almost.
I don't know what that is. That's just creepy.
Cthulhu.
It's like Dr. Who. Put a notch, like just put a mark right there so I remember that this is the right one.
Okay.
Just put something. Yay, thank you. Let's not do that again. Wee. I messed up. Not like just the fit's picky. And so I'm gonna fix something. And I have to admit the fact that like all of this stuff kind of came up so easily does not give me confidence in this glue. Like I know it should be okay, it should be fine, but
Also, it's like sticking to everything, so everything I cut off is just sticking.
Yep. So I'm fixing the fronts were way more over, and that's okay. Like that's something I expected. It's really hard to get this that tight on your foot when you're just holding it over, and like yours, you've got a whole thing on top. It's fine.
Yeah.
Mine needs to be snug. Otherwise,
well, it's gonna stretch.
Yeah, and it's gonna stretch. Otherwise, these things are just gonna fly off of me, and I'm like, ugh. It's one of those things where it's like, if this was the way that I learned, this would probably be just fine. But because I'm not used to this, so ironically, the easier shoe is harder to fit.
I'm not surprised though.
Yeah. I mean, that makes way more sense if you're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing and I need comfy sandals. Like, that's your answer right
These
there.
are tedious, but the fit's kind of like, meh.
And they have lots of other styles.
Yeah.
I don't know about those. So before I end up putting another 1/4 inch around the back of my heel and walking off of everything the wrong way, I should probably, like, trim it down. Which, fortunately and unfortunately, this glue does not really stay terribly. Even after a full 24 hours of curing. Comes right off. I'm not really confident in Aqualimp right now. Like, as a temporary hold, yes. I would totally use that instead of Hirsch Clever. But redraw a new heel line that's just a smidgen in. Like, anything wrong that I do to the heel, I can hide better.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
than
easier to
anything I do at the toe. Like, the toe is nice. I don't want to mess with the toe if I don't have to. Day 3. We're finally at the point of doing soles and heels and all that stuff. We've got the uppers fit. Everything's good to go. The problem that we were encountering, though, was that as we were undoing and redoing things, we realized how easy it was to undo with the glue that we were using. And that became a concern. I did some research yesterday and the day off. It is properly waterproof. However, even under the best of circumstances, while it will hold really well, like with that sort of tension, you can still peel it off. Like, even under the best of circumstances. So it's going to be great for my uses, for things like uppers and places where I need stuff somewhat temporarily held together, but will eventually be stitched or not under a lot of tension. But yeah, I really don't feel comfortable using that on the sole of a sandal that's going to go through a lot.
Yeah.
So we're switching to barge cement for the rest of this because I couldn't get my uppers to stick anymore. I don't know if there are too many layers of glue or pulling off and on was a problem. It just, they weren't sticking anymore. So we're switching. I 100% understand why Aqualim is the standard within this kit because it is not toxic in the same way. And so it's safe for you to use in your home. It's safe for you to use around pets. It's going to probably do just fine, but yeah, it stresses me out. So we're switching to barge, opening all the windows because it's not too smoky today.
Thank God.
And yeah, I know.
It was awful yesterday.
Now we're good. Now I can clean up my underneath portions and smooth it out. Yours are already mostly smoothed.
I think that's as good as they're gonna get.
As they're gonna get.
I don't want to do that anymore, so unless you volunteer as tribute, that's as good as they're gonna get. Like once it's on the shoe it'll be okay, but it's really hard to get it flush.
Yeah, with your straps.
With these little straps everywhere. Well, that went like arguably better, but honestly, probably not, but we're just gonna pretend.
We'll see how it fixes up with adhering to a sole. Like, that can kind of squish it into place. I like her explanation of, like, shove it under and down at the same, like, just in and down, like, just make it work for you.
Ooh, it's starting to get darker. Maybe we will get some.
No, I'm not kidding about it, but, like, there's a little bit of a cooler breeze.
This actually works.
Okay, I gotta do the scary thing.
Oh, the cutting?
It's actually not, it's not scary for me. Except for the fact that I don't want to do it the way it shows. I'm like, do I do this the way that my brain wants me to do this? Will I hate myself for that because it's not on the last and I won't have the same control over that? Because my urge is to do this. Because I'm used to this.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
But I can probably, I don't know how easy this cuts. We're going to find out. Oh, that cuts pretty easily. Oh god, no. Oh, like the first cut's fine, but then you start getting into the point where it wants to grip.
Yeah.
Because it's, good. Okay.
Ooh, breaking a nail.
Yeah, I got one this morning. In curiosity, let's see how well this does. Sorry, scissors. That's too easy.
Looks like those are going to be professionally sharpened after the end of this.
Oh god, I'm so sorry, scissors.
we got them booms.
It's just gonna kill my knife.
Yeah. Or we actually get a chisel and a mallet.
Yeah, because like it just does not want to.
It's also raining right now. Stop.
Okay.
Well, you're getting your exercise.
Like I know I'm out of shape, but dang.
Where's that new tool? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Buried underneath a pile of.
Other tools.
Yeah. All right, let's find out how this thing works.
Yeah, you go first.
You go first. Set that down there. We have a nice.
Also, say, should be
yeah.
easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
Hooray! The final step is an easy step.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think, arguably the easiest step.
Well, you made your first pair of shoes. It was not the pair that you planned on making first.
Nope.
But
Don't know when we'll ever actually finish those.
yeah. When, if, who knows.
Mystery.
Final reviews. We both ended up with shoes.
Yay!
That like fit pretty well, all things considered, in terms of how like awkward it is to fit over an actual foot.
Yes.
But it is a sandal, so it's pretty forgiving, and leather does stretch, so it's also forgiving. I think the only major changes that we made, and the only major thing that we did was change out for barge, and we did a few little extra things like skiving down the edges of things in order to make them more comfortable, but I don't think we really had to change dramatically on anything else.
No.
And I think that's the only, like, I don't even want to say critique, because I don't think that's a critique so much as, like, there were things that could have been much more complicated,
Yes.
but I'm not sure they needed to be for the level that this is at. Like, this is clearly aimed towards beginners.
Yeah.
And it was very, very thorough. Definitely do recommend this as first time.
If you're doing them by yourself, don't do these.
Don't do that. These were also a little complex in the sense that you're trying to fit the large piece, but there were some that were kind of like a couple large straps, and a full ankle strap like that is easier because then it places where it needs to be. Like, I had trouble placing where the back of this needed to be on me, and I moved it a bunch, and I had trouble figuring out how tight this needed to be to not have it flop around my foot. So maybe going with one of the ones that has like more buckles and more straps, but not that many straps.
Yes. Ankle strap, yes, for on your own. But if you want to do something kind of like this or even like that, have a buddy.
Yeah.
Have a fitting buddy.
Yep.
That would be good.
It took us 3 afternoons.
Yeah.
Like, about 3 to 4 hours each.
And I
So.
mean, you probably could do it in a whole day too if you really wanted to, but don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's stressful. You get to the end of the day where you're trying to get precise, that's when you mess things up.
Yeah.
So,
A weekend project though.
yeah,
for
perfect
sure.
weekend project. Oh, this would be a really fun project for like a group of people doing. It's a very adult craft.
Yeah.
So thank you to whoever it was on my Patreon that asked me about this company, because it turned into a whole video, which is great, and I'm really happy with these, and I'm happy that I have the stuff to make another pair. I'm gonna make a pair like Abby did, and yeah.
You're gonna be a fisherman dad like me.
Sure, honey. Okay, all around, good experience.
Yes.
I've been pondering the title, and this is like Real Shoemaker and Abby. Try Shoemaker.